to make it so that everything starts recording.
Yeah.
And the other night, went and sat there for 10 minutes reading a document, and it was total silence for recording, watching them read.
Right.
So I'm in there right now, you can see me on the side there.
Right, that's why I asked him.
This is what I see.
So mine says allowed to talk.
We were.
Yeah, I'm just curious how the microphone works. Yeah. Hello. 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 Oh yeah, you can make me let me talk if you want.
What if you want to leave the meeting before everybody else leaves?
Me? Do I want
Put
to?
you back as an attendee. Right now, am I going to move you to a panelist?
No, you just let me talk. So now my phone says, hey, she's letting you talk. Do you want to talk? I say, sure.
Hello. I'm talking. I'm not saying much.
So I just muted myself. So at least it's coming out there. And then you kick me out, the little three dots, you make me a panelist, so I can share my screen. Are these people that are joining as attendees, you want them to be panelists anyway? So we can share.
Yes.
So then I would hit the three dots, and it says panelist. Under my name. Yeah. Yeah, put all to the panelist. So if you do that, watch it run for this. Now on my phone, it says, hey, she's letting you be a panelist. Are you cool with that? You say, sure. This. And now you can see. Yep. Rejoin assuming faceless. I can talk.
Hello. Hello. All right.
Screen.
With some documents or something.
Yeah.
There might be one or two who do that. But as long as I have them as a panelist. And then, you know, when you, I don't know how to help people when they raise their hand.
I'll do that too.
Do you have a question?
I do.
Share your screen.
That's my screen. That's my phone.
But mine went up to the top.
Yeah, because I'm sharing my screen right now.
Okay.
So I took over,
Took it over.
because you made me a panelist, yes, I can share my screen. So you can sit here.
I could move you back to, I could move you back to an attendee.
Yeah, you could do that right now if you want. If I'm done doing my thing, you can just click on panelist and you back. And the screen is all the way, I'll be able to talk. But I'm a panelist, I do a panelist.
Okay. First of all, I want you to raise your
Oh,
hand.
yeah. Let's do that. Stop sharing. What do you think? Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Okay, so now I click on this, it should be in here. I wonder if I can, because I'm already applying this game here. Raise my hand. Yeah, I don't have a reason to raise my hand because I'm already.
Let you. So if I move you back to attendee,
Yep.
or I go to panelist, ask to unmute,
I know, just the three dots. You do everything.
three dots.
Four. Yeah, also will. Right there, go down.
Change role to
Yeah,
attendee.
I don't know why they don't name the word. And then it's gonna kick me out and make me back. That's just the regular. Oh. So now I can,
So
yeah, now I
I
can
could
raise my
write,
hand.
I could type a message if you want to. Oh,
That's what I do.
and so do I click on that
I
or
hit
do
the
I
little-
go to the icon?
I hit the little X to get rid of it. Just get it off the screen, yeah. It's just saying, hey, I need something. And then what you do, go into the chat and actually talk to me.
Okay, so if I want to tell everybody, if you want to speak,
Raise hand.
Here, if you wish to speak, please text your full name and address.
Oh, that's
The chat.
probably good to ask them, yeah, so they know, who they are. Yeah. Try that.
How do I send that?
I just, at the end of it, so now.
Okay. So do I click that?
That's just chatting back and forth. Now you go up to my name under attendees and let me speak if you want to. Attendees, my name, just, yeah, and a lot of stuff. Yeah. So now I can talk.
Hello, hello.
Check 1, 2. Okay.
Hey, hi, how are you? Where do you guys meet? Right here. Oh, right, yeah, oh, you're two right here. Okay, so you're gonna go.
You want me to leave this? Yeah.
You could be the receptionist.
Okay. It'll get easier the more you do it, but that's just the thing. Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you for getting me on, and I'm not gonna leave again.
It's just recording this whole thing, but we can trim it out later. We don't want all this stuff.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Yeah, once it gets uploaded, we
It'll
can
go to-
chop it.
it'll go to
I'm so
Zoom.
excited.
Yeah, that's.
I said, I'm not
Oh, it
waiting
must be
for you.
boring.
I was parked out there for.
I know.
You drove up. Drove up.
Thank you so much.
It's like almost sleep up
Oh, no.
there. Yeah.
Oh, big drops.
We'll work.
Just in
Yeah.
time for everybody else to go and stuff.
Thank you.
You needed help? We
No,
need
I
help.
just
Why-
wanted to make sure that the circle was
No, I
expanded.
mean with that. You can have Ryan
Well-
do that. It's nice to have a town manager.
Oh, I
bring
know
help.
it. I know it. I had Dave IT come and get me going on it first. And we were Tom went down to the police department to look at the dogs for the open house.
I saw that, the open house, same time we have the meeting.
Yes. It started at 5:30 supposedly. And we were I believe, change the order of the agenda to let our guests speak first. We'll let the lighting representatives speak, and then we'll let them speak so that they can go.
She's got no place to go.
Come sit down.
I've been sitting till the last hour downstairs,
Okay,
so.
all right, well.
The heavens opened up out there.
Exactly the wrong time, too. A little wet out there. Huh? A little wet out
A
there.
little, coming down sideways.
Big drops.
Just as soon as I got here. Is there a bathroom down the hall?
Just about 5 doors to the right, to the left.
Thanks.
Hey,
How you doing?
Good.
What, do you commute with your better half now?
Now she has to drive.
How you doing, Donnie?
How's your week been?
So far, so good.
It's only Thursday.
It's only Thursday.
That's because I was in Chicago all week.
I know. I saw, remember you saying you were coming back?
Yeah.
I have.
You have?
Steve Hinchcliffe was downstairs doing the walkthrough at the police station. I stepped on her and she said, "Oh, you stopping by? I see, I don't came for the free food."
And then we're gonna shut it all down again and tear it up.
Yeah. Hey, we have Jay. How's life treating you?
Oh, all right.
Yeah, can't complain.
No, well, I could. But no one wants to hear
How's the boys doing?
that. Good. Marco just left today to go back to Princeton.
Oh, really?
He's going back for a couple weeks to work reunions. That's it.
They started, IT starting our webinar up, and it is recording.
Early?
It's.
I mean, I can't curse now?
They set it up to record.
Damn. That's a curse.
I don't know how to
Put your mic.
chop them out either, like Watergate or whatever.
I saw Steve downstairs. Oh, yeah, okay. So he'll be here. Okay.
That's fine. Tom's here.
Yeah, I just,
Yes, no?
yeah, we still have 5 minutes, but technically, you get arrested if we start the meeting now. Yes. Lisa's the
Well, the
police.
chief is happy.
Seems
This
very
chief is happy.
You seem happy.
They were,
Could've had
showed me the
gas.
plans. What's that?
Could have had gas, but you seem happy.
And they're happy with Brian. And
We don't know
they
if
were
Rocco
very
got
happy
rained
with
out.
Brian.
He said,
They like the guy.
I thought the fields have to be closed.
Huh?
The fields have to be closed.
Yeah,
There's no way they're closed. It's all this.
I was okay in the beginning, and then I got there. Like mellow. Contractors, holy cow. But they got the work done, and the whole force
Well,
enjoyed all of it.
they took the time.
It took a little bit at the end, but it wasn't all them. It was some of the subs, I think. But they,
That's what they-
subs take, if you're not
Time
a
was not of
Don
the essence.
Lombardo, the subs take advantage.
Yeah, time was not of the essence.
Yeah, which is fun. And, the police weren't upset about it. Because for the first time in years, they were seeing progress and getting it done. So. But the second time, they said, well, now that they see what they have, they can't wait to. But then I said, you're gonna change your mind, you got this nice thing, but you're gonna change with the workload. Chief goes, we already have. I said, yeah, that's what happens.
Yep.
So. But that bloodhound, Penny, I love that dog. And you know what? The biggest crowd down there is in the Sally Port with the dogs. They're showing the dogs. They're out in the parking lot. Everybody wants to come in and see the dogs. Me too. I don't want to see the rest of this stuff. I did it for 40 years. I know what paint looks like.
Somebody said they saw Steve downstairs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's something.
They have like an open house.
What's
Yeah.
that?
They're doing an open house.
Yeah. They're gonna have a lot of leftover chocolate chip cookies. That's all I gotta say.
You didn't bring any up with you?
I was being shown other plans. I thought
Hey,
it
how are you?
was bad form to take some cookies and stuff in my pocket.
Steve done.
You can sit right there.
I missed him. Maybe that's what he's doing.
The chief let me up the back stairway.
It's me too. I said, oh, I know it's here. Because I'll let you out.
Good, not that secret.
Oh, you're gonna sit in a different seat this week.
I gotta mix it up. Well, we'll see who shows up.
Change the
They might,
view, huh?
they might bump me out of here.
You don't like being the second dog?
I'll be the third
Dog
dog,
race?
I don't care. All right,
Right on time.
You know,
come on in, Brian.
they were just talking about you downstairs. I was looking at the
Oh, really?
rendering for the
No
next
curse words,
stage.
no curse
And they
words.
were all, oh no, they were very complimentary. And they had very complimentary. But they were nervous because there was a rumor that you were retiring.
That's a rumor. That's a rumor. That is a rumor that's going around though through the police community. It's, I'm trying to stop it. People are talking.
Well, you need to have an open house to reiterate that in your facility.
Yeah.
Invite them all. We'll go.
We're still open
Have
for
cookies,
business in
lobster
Berlin,
tails.
Connecticut.
Yeah, lobster and steak.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Hey, I didn't know you did Danbury. The chief was telling me he was at Danbury and
Yeah. Yes,
I
that's right.
stopped there, for directions.
Danbury PD.
I was going out 84 was closed. I was on my way to New Jersey. Closed, so I said, screw this. I mean, there's no movement. I looked, accident, closed both lanes. So I got off, worked my way around, and I said,
PD.
where it is.
Right.
Went right by the Danbury Police Department. So I said, I gotta go to the bathroom and get directions. That's not a police station. That's a hotel.
Yeah.
That is really, really nice.
You're out of time.
I'm waiting for Steve.
They wanted a gateway building coming off the highway, a gateway building into the city,
Yeah,
and to show a presence for people wanting to go into the city that police department's right here.
Oh, it's a presence,
And
sure.
the mayor at the time came to me and said, I want a Victorian police department. And I thought he was joking. I said, what do you want, some frill and some pink and
Oh,
some
why didn't you see Steve? No, no.
deadpan? He goes, no, I'm serious.
well, the main courtyard is, what is it, 20 feet wide. I mean, it's, I thought I was in a hotel.
Yeah, you got the key too.
Thank you.
Very nice. Anyhow, 7 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order. Approval of the minutes from April 10th. Here a motion.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any changes? Okay. Audience citizens, we have. Are you Steve?
Yeah.
I'm here for a lighting
The lighting,
The
okay.
Sage Park lighting, yeah.
part, you know,
We have
I
Donna.
didn't catch your name.
Mike Mahoney.
Mike Tony, okay, and Donna Bove.
I'm here based on whatever you guys need to find out.
Put a
Okay.
splash pad.
I make a motion, we change the agenda, allow the Musco lighting rep to go first,
And what about Donna to go second?
and Donna to
So
go
that-
second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I hate to do this, but can I ask you to move?
Cost you.
He wants
I
to set
coached
it
at
up.
that field a long time. so
Here,
why
Tom,
don't I
take
go?
my spot.
The only reason I ask is I came in early and set up a couple of points, and they were all measured off here.
I did it for me. I like the attention.
Nope.
Now, if you can work on the field itself rather than the lighting, you're in good hands.
You see Rocco and Tom selling more on Zoom.
Yeah. Hi, kids.
When you heard Rocco say.
Hello, how's everybody?
Very good, thank you.
I got rained out tonight, so I can join.
Thank you.
By way of introduction, my name is Mike Mahoney with Musco Lighting. We are a sports lighting manufacturer, corporate and manufacturing in Iowa. We've been around, I believe next year is our 50th year. So everything we do is here in the USA. We've got about 1,500 people, primarily in Iowa. Manufacturers in Muscatine, Iowa. Then corporate offices are in the southeast of Iowa and Oskaloosa. We have locations around the globe. We are widely recognized as a leader in sports lighting, and it's pretty much all we've done for 50 years. So we focus on primarily sports, recreational, high school, college, professional. I think there was a pretty comprehensive list of what we've done just in Connecticut over the past, I think that was 6 years.
How did you get to Berlin?
So I've met with Doug on and off over the years. When you guys had a poll fail, he called us to get some advice on who to liaise with, et cetera. And then Shock Electric, who I believe is your on-call electrician, they do a ton of our stuff. And when they were approached to put up something or try something out, they suggested to Doug to call Musco because this is all they did. So that's how I got here tonight, obviously through Doug's invitation. So that being said, I know you guys have a pretty lengthy agenda. I'll jump right into this. What I have here is a scale model of one single LED fixture, and this would be a 70-foot pole, and it's 50 feet set back from the edge of a football field. That what we're looking at here is could be a neighbor's window. The bottom of that window is at 100 feet from the edge of the field. The top of that window is 150 feet. So again, it's all scaled out, relative. So we can hit the
lights out?
light. Yeah, that's great. So this initial, and please don't look directly at the light. It's going to be pretty bright.
My eyes.
This is the photometry, the physics of this fixture. This is a widely available round LED fixture, very popular. What you'll see, 9 out of 10 of the people that compete against us, this is the type of photometry that they use. So you can see, especially if you're down there, there's a lot of glare. If you were, like I said, down here, there's really, that's discomforting, that amount of glare. So imagine being a player on the field, especially with a shorter mounting heights. Softball, we only have 50-foot poles existing. This scale model, we're aiming this at 30 degrees, which is ideal. And this is also showing a 70-foot pole at 30 degrees. So this is kind of an ideal setup. So when you shorten that pole, you're flattening out that aiming angle. So you're really exposing more of the glare source to the players, spectators, etc. So what, again, is widely available on the market, they'll take the fixture and then they'll put a visor on that fixture. But you can see that visor, just the mechanics of it, the physics of it, the visor, this is aimed at 30 degrees, it's really not blocking any light. So that's option A. What we've done.
Why would you have a visor if it's not blocking light? It's just upwards?
Yeah.
Light pollution.
Yeah, light
Sky
pollution.
compliant thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can use, this is what Musco's approach is, cut that light off. So now, again, this is 150 feet from the edge of the field. You can see that nice sharp line. Neighbors aren't impacted. Playability on the field is dramatically enhanced. However, now our ceiling's dark. So, pop fly, what happens? What we've patented is what we call ball tracker technology. So, at about 10 feet above grade, just above the component enclosure, we have a low wattage fixture that shines just enough light above that enhances, profiles the object. So now players, there's actually light on the bottom of the ball that they're trying to catch.
Right.
And it's
That's a lot easier.
it's a lot better for the community. For now, again, all the light that you're paying to generate up here is getting pushed down onto the field, as opposed to being blown out and scattered across everywhere.
Was that proprietary?
It is, yeah. It is patented.
Now, that's a scale model. How far down is that on the pole?
It'd be about 10 feet.
10 feet.
Yeah. So
10 from the light source.
10 feet above grade.
Oh, both grade.
And
So,
it's mounted right on the same pole as the.
yep. So this is, what we do is we remote the driver's surge protection. Everything is mounted at 10 feet above grade so that it's very easy to maintain, service. Any diagnostics can be done off a step ladder.
Cherry picker for you and stuff.
No, the only reason would be to replace the actual fixture. And that this way we know if we needed to replace a fixture, we'd have a fixture before we get that lift out there, go up, replace the fixture, done. So
Now, this is for the football field or the baseball?
this is
Softball,
baseball and softball.
Softball and baseball.
Yeah.
God, I wish I had that technology when I played. You can see the bottom of the ball.
Yeah. So that's it for the demo. If you
Now,
want,
would you reuse the poles that are there, or does that all come down?
no, our proposal is to reuse all the structure that's there. If you wanted to, I think in the
But those are 70 feet.
on I made a checklist. If you got a chance to see it, but there's with our proposal, we would provide new cross arms. So if we start at baseball, they're bolted. There's just a flange, like a 2 or 3 foot extension. We would unbolt that, take that completely off, take the ballast boxes off. So you're just left with foundation and a stripped pole. We would provide new cross arms, galvanized steel, hot dip galvanized inside and out, all internal wiring, then the new wire harness from the top of the pole down to the bottom to those remote driver enclosures. Our fixtures, we always do a calculation on the current weight and EPA of the fixtures, and we've calculated that we would be reducing the stress on your current structures. When it's your structures, not ours, we provide a 10-year parts and labor warranty. So that's 100% parts and labor, lift, everything for 10 years. We guarantee the light levels. I've been out to field verify the pole heights. I know on softball we've got 50-foot poles, baseball we've got 70s, and then there's also 2 80s. So really good pole heights there. Both the quantity and the quality of light, so the amount of light, but also the way it's distributed across the field, both meet ASA standards or Babe Ruth standards, high school standards.
What would you consider the quality of the light that's there now? It's your personal opinion.
I haven't seen it at night, but I just cannot imagine softball is very good at all. Just because it's that fixtures between the light source, unless you've been relamping, and you probably can't even get those lamps.
What about the baseball?
Baseball, I mean, if you relamp baseball, and they're all working, then you should be near, original light level.
I think baseball.
Yeah, I guess my question is the original light level suck as bad as I think it did?
Well, see, that's the thing with metal halide. You start day one, metal halide lamps are brand new. They produce this amount of light, and then over time, like a pair of tires, and the degradation is pretty slow, so you don't really notice it until you
can't see.
Yeah, and then the only way to remedy it is to replace all the lamps at once. And those lamps are getting extremely expensive because nobody's making them anymore.
Yeah, I think baseball, the lighting was designed for high school baseball level, but I think softball was recreational, and they moved softball into the lake field.
What can we expect for lamp light on LEDs last?
Our rated lamp lights, so you can only publish what you have proof of testing for 6 years. Then you can extrapolate from there. Right now, we're at 120,000 hours that we can extrapolate. So if you burn them 1,000 hours a year, you're good for 120.
And so your 10 years covers everything?
Yeah. Yep.
Nothing to worry about.
Correct.
What about rebates from the power company?
Yeah, you'd certainly be eligible. Our product, they're all DLC certified, so they would qualify for rebates.
And our power consumption is gonna be much
Yeah,
less.
it's good.
Yeah.
Water, yeah.
What about startup and shutdown?
It's that-
Kind of time to talk
Yeah,
about.
not like what we got here.
Yeah.
Yeah, immediate. Yeah, so power failure, you know, it's, something goes, somebody hits a pole, whatever, as soon as power comes on, like,
The proposal we have, is that for everything, supply and install? And taking down the old ones and hauling them off?
yep.
So that's all included in that proposal?
Yep.
Now, the line voltage to the drivers, is that already there? Like you can reuse the feed that's there, you've already checked that?
Yep.
The voltage and all that?
Yep.
What's the lead time?
We are 6 to 8 weeks. It is made in America, like I said, and we're all in Iowa. Readily available parts and service. The remote driver's answer, talked about glare control, demonstrated, as well as playability. Again, having that light on the bottom of the ball and not having the light in your eyes. Also, when they come in, every fixture is aimed in the factory. So there's a laser on each of the cross arms, and as the contractor's installing them, turn left, right, somebody's standing on home plate, and that laser hits them. Everything's factory aimed. And then you just mentioned the hundreds of Connecticut LED sports installations.
Who would file for the rebates for the lighting?
You guys would.
Or we'd have to?
Yeah, I mean, we would support all the documentation, but I believe that whoever pays the bills has to actually, and I'm sure you guys have a sort of rep that calls.
I'm sure.
That's what you don't want to do. Come on, be honest.
And this is, you guys don't use a middleman, it's direct from you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Sure, you've been asked this 100 times. Do you guys do Field of Dreams, that field?
Yep. Fenway, Gillette, TD Garden,
NASCAR tracks.
NASCAR, MetLife, the Garden. We do a lot of them. Again, it's all we do, so.
Good product.
Yeah, it's a big difference between a well-lit arena and something like Sage Park, which is,
Yeah.
in all honesty, you can barely see there for baseball. Those lights have been degraded over time. I don't know how they replaced them, but it is very hard.
And it's tough to get a, to throw in a line item to re-lamp for all of a sudden there's a 20, 30 grand.
What's the time of the rebates now? Thank you very much.
Thank you
thank you.
guys. Are there any questions?
So we're just doing those two fields?
Yeah.
Well, we can always call and talk. I saw him
Yeah.
earlier. And it's very complimentary of the deal. So.
No, they're the best in the industry. There's no one better than
I
us.
mean, that was nice.
All the fields I've seen lately are done.
I told Doug when I was coming over the other day to meet him. I just took a quick look at the map, and it just clockwise right around you guys. We have LED product in clockwise Newington, Rocky Hill, Cromwell, Middletown, Meriden, Southington, Bristol, and New Britain.
So it's
Like,
easy to.
You guys are
get a tour.
you guys are the outlier. I told Doug I got to get in here. But we definitely got very aggressive with our pricing. Look,
Where in New Britain? Beehive?
no, that's our older legacy.
That's good.
We did Rockwell Park. We did some LED.
What about Newington behind the high school with the?
Clem Lemire
Oh,
baseball.
Yeah,
Rocky Hill.
yeah, that's a nice.
What's that?
You got Rocky Hill.
Yeah, we did this past year. We did, I think there were 7 fields in Rocky Hill. They did a citywide.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of them.
What about Cromwell?
Cromwell, we actually just turned on the second Little League field. 2 now side by side, right at the middle school.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you
thank
again,
you very
guys.
much, Mike.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time. I guess Doug, if we have any other questions, Doug knows how to get a hold of you, so.
And I saw the reference to the Sourcewell contract, right?
Yep.
Yep. So that, the town council likes that. Sourcewell, it's like a state, it's almost like a state bid contract too.
I don't know. I trust
It's a
that, I don't know what
co-op.
you're talking about.
Yeah, we use them all, we use them all the time.
Okay. All right,
Donna next.
Mrs. Bovee, you're up.
I don't know what you'd like to talk about, but I was asked to come to the meeting with any questions that you have on the Demore Dinda project.
Splash
You
pad,
guys are, you've
scroll
got our,
pool.
I thought we were,
Go demolish it and face it.
what's that?
We're gonna demolish it and then face it.
Yeah, but I'm not, I mean, from my standpoint, I thought, I don't have a lot of questions. I think are we waiting for anything? Or we
No,
said we were
I
gonna,
think you wanted background on the approach and
Okay.
what's going on, because right now it's just the feasibility study was done by KB Castle Booze, right?
right,
And then I guess what's the next step? And,
So,
you
yeah,
know,
so-
and I guess from your perspective, what's going on and what do you want to do?
yeah, I think more,
Yeah.
we don't know anything other than Castle Booze gave a very short,
yeah, I think it's a different name.
yeah.
No, so there's been a feasibility study, full feasibility study that they did. And I think he spoke to your group, didn't he, with Steve Wood?
Yes, I think he did.
A couple of months ago. He came in, and spoke to your group.
Or no, town council he did.
Yeah.
He did, he's done.
No, he
He
was
did
he
come
attended
here.
here
He
too.
came
yeah.
here in
He might have
February.
been on Zoom.
He came here in February, he did the same presentation that he did for the town council, first presentation. We were allowed to do a feasibility study for Demore Dinda. So, you know, originally we have the pool there in East Berlin, old pool house. There's tennis courts there now that we've converted to pickleball, but it's just the lines for pickleball. They can use it for pickleball. It's not really pickleball courts. There's some old swing sets there, and there's, I don't know, just say 20 parking spots, right? So back in 2023, we closed down the pool. The pool is well over 50 years old. It was built in the 70s. Same with the pool house. It's in the, again, in the reports that you guys have copies of, and if you need copies,
No,
we'll give them. So well over 50 years. The only maintenance that was done was some replastering that was done, you know, many years ago. If you ever go there, you will see the decking is sunken in places, the steps. I mean, I was really surprised that we would even have opened the pool even prior to that, because the steps are warped as you go into the pool. There's some leakage, we're losing water. The coping all around, a lot of leakage coming out, a lot of cracking. So you have to replace the pool if you want a pool. But we looked at attendance, and the last few years, our attendance, and we've given you the attendance numbers even in the statement of need, declining significantly for East Berlin. Percival has kept pretty steady.
well, that could be because the pool, I lived in town for 31 years, I didn't know there was a pool there. But besides that, it could have been a deteriorating situation, so nobody bothered to go.
Well,
In other words,
there
would
were
be
there
a
were
use for
there
the
were monies
pool if
put
it
in
was-
for maintenance and things like
Yeah,
that,
but
just
that
didn't
was
happen.
obviously, yeah.
For various reasons, I'm not going to go back because, you know,
No, I'm just asking it, because we don't know, there was a big range of costs, and we don't know whoever the proponent of this project is, do they want a new pool, or do you just want a
no.
slash
So
pool? Okay.
in the statement of need, right? So that's the background. Declining attendance, pool needs to be replaced probably. We went to the town council and I recommended, along with our park and rec commission, unanimously. This has been going on for a couple of years. We would rather take monies and turn this into a splash pad. If you look at surrounding towns, Cromwell, Rocky Hill, Newington does not have a splash pad yet. But, you know, they have one outdoor pool. Cromwell does not have an indoor pool, but Rocky Hill does. But one outdoor pool. Rocky Hills, if you look at their population, about the same.
same demographics. You really only need one outdoor pool. Percival, we still have much more capacity that we could take on if we needed, if other people, want to come in, use the pool and everything like that. It will need to be replaced, replastered at some point. There's monies in the capital dollars, in our capital budget going out years for that. But we want to turn Demortenda into a splash pad. That's where towns are going. Splash pads, you don't need lifeguards. We have problems getting lifeguards. So significant costs to replace the pool. Attendance, on average, we had 19 people come during 2022. 19 people per day. You need full lifeguards, and it's just not worth the money. And it's very difficult to get the lifeguards to cover that anyway. And more people will use a splash pad, which you do not need lifeguards. And depending on what you do with the water, you don't necessarily have to have chemical testing every day like you do for a pool. There's a lot of maintenance with the pool, outdoor pool. So that's what we've talked to the council about it. The mayor, the town council have been supportive, but obviously concerned about dollars. So we asked that we do a feasibility study, and they gave us approval. We did a feasibility study. The statement of need that you have now is something that we were just asked for a couple of months or a month ago, because rather than, and this is where I don't know what the new process is. Historically, we would have used our consultant, the range that we have, and probably the high range, just to make sure we're covered for budgetary purposes, right? And then we would go forward with that range. Again, these are consultants, they work on splash pads, they do the right thing, they have estimated costs. And the consultant's report breaks it down. How much is demolition? How much is this? How much is that?
This is the only,
This is the statement of need.
no, this is the, need statement. Okay.
That's,
But I mean, this is the only feasibility study was.
the
Was this one?
feasibility, do you have copies of the feasibility?
I have it. I just did,
Oh, okay,
I thought there was, I thought you said
there is a feasibility
a
study.
different one.
And-
And just one.
Yeah, and just to go back, what
Yes.
happened was feasibility study went to the town council, and then the town council didn't refer the project
Right.
formally to the
Right.
PBC, just said, run it by the PBC.
Right,
The PBC,
This-
and then you
this-
guys said, you know what? And then that's when Woody came in and
the consultant.
consultant came in, well, and then you guys basically said, looks fine to us, kind of, but we don't, And then to get referred officially back to the PBC, the statement of need had to be prepared and go back. So that was the process.
Honestly, and with all due respect,
I get
I just don't know the process, why you guys even have to be involved. This is the public grounds, Parks and Rec thing. We would have normally gone out, we got monies like we did in the past, enough for budgeting purposes and determining what we can do with the town council board of finance. But now the council wants to refer this whole thing to you guys, which is fine. It just slows it down. Now, we were hoping to have this thing in by 26. Now we're looking at 27 by the time this thing is done, if we start now. So I don't know what your role is or what your process
Well,
is
now
going
it's
to be.
more formal. Before, there was nothing we could do because we didn't have a statement of need. We had a study, which
Fine, yeah, so,
is, okay, we got a study, but now we have something a little more
right, so
concrete.
we
Okay, I
presented
get it,
this
I get
statement
it.
of need to the council March 11th.
Yep, yep.
They then give it to, they
You know, I
said,
get
we'll
that now.
forward it to you guys have it. So the thing, the mayor keeps telling me, Donna, I want a specific quote. I want a quote from contractors. And I said, I find it difficult to get a quote for contractors unless you give me a budget and say that you're gonna move forward with the project. But maybe you guys can do something different.
Well, in the real world, the way this will work is now we have a statement of need. We will go out and based upon what the Parks and Rec Department says it needs, we will get quotes and people will, but I can't tell you what the budget's gonna be. I have no idea what it's gonna cost. We work with buildings, not splash pads.
Right, right.
So, but somebody's gonna have to supervise this, somebody's gonna have to override. So we'll go out for bids.
So you're gonna go out for bids.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We'll I think the process.
There's no
will be-
detailed design yet. It's
Right,
just,
so
it's
we're
sort
gonna have
of,
to get-
it's conceptual and
Right.
enough where they could price stuff.
Correct.
But to me, the next step would be, you
Design.
go
Part
get,
of the
get like
bidding.
a detailed design
Right,
package.
Yes,
Yeah.
hire an architect and get somebody who knows splash
Like,
pads.
they already have someone, but then again, the town council's been very, I don't know, pushing this competitive, I got, I don't know, ambushed the other day, or the other last
I think
meeting
we have to
about,
be competitive, otherwise we're asking for trouble.
I don't know.
It's not $100 project.
So what I'd recommend is this, based on having the statement of need right now, and you may or may not have a contractor lined up. We should come up
We
with.
don't have a contractor.
Okay, right, we should get out and get a conceptual design done and specification put together, and then from there we go off.
Yeah.
they almost
So
have
we
a
have that
conceptual,
conceptual
I think it
design.
needs to go to the next level, you know, but,
Well, it's not-
conceptual.
it's
We
not-
really more than
You have to,
conceptual.
now we have to act. And I believe you have copies of the conceptual design. And it has, and all that does is summarize the costs.
But
Do you
we're,
have that, Mike?
but we're not,
yeah.
You have it, yeah, here, I'll just pull it up. It just, this is what's just frustrating. It's just, another way, delay.
Ron, we're the fastest movie.
There was a, yeah.
That's why it's here.
that's what
Otherwise,
everybody says is going.
like I said,
So
when I
here you,
looked at this, there's not a single building being built.
yeah,
And this is called a public building commission.
I
So
totally
I
agree.
know, I hear
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
issues, they become our issues. So and when you say that we have conceptual design.
There.
Is there a specification put together with it?
Yeah. So,
There is?
Yeah.
Have you seen this? No.
yes,
seen it
you
either.
guys, this was,
I
okay.
don't think we've seen it.
Yeah, he presented this to your meeting.
Yeah,
back-
but that's not design. That's
Yeah.
conceptual.
That's what we said. This is a conceptual
That's what I'm
design.
saying.
Tell me what this is. Is this not a conceptual design? It has
doesn't
your
have
square
any- it
footage, it
doesn't-
has what you want in the pool house. And we broke it down into phases in there because we know you can't get all the money. So we said, just work on phase 1 right now. This splash pad, and first of all, it's the pool, we have a wading pool, we have an old pool house. This replaces all of that. So the first thing is you have to demolish what you have, fill it in, get it ready, and then build this. And again,
So who put that together for you?
here's the consultant's name. He's the one that spoke with you, KBA. They have designed splash pads around the state.
Yeah.
We hired them.
Not arguing that.
Yeah.
I think that the best thing to do is get a specification out of them. You may or not have enough information, or I haven't really looked at it, but I would say let's pull that together and then let's get it out to bid. Let's not wait. Put it out to bid to multiple contractors and get the
So
numbers
do you
back.
want to bid, so again, we have 2 phases. Do you want to bid both phases?
The whole project.
Yeah.
The whole
It
project.
doesn't, you can't bid like that. No contractor's gonna come in here
So-
But we
yeah,
do not, I just want
So
to,
we're gonna get
turnkey.
it, they might give us a cost back in phases. But you gotta give them everything.
yeah, no, we have everything laid out, right?
Okay.
So in a conceptual design,
Right.
you would agree, Mike,
I
right?
saw that, yeah.
So we have that. So
Is that
if you can
enough to
get
go out
that
to
to the
bid?
commission,
I haven't seen it. I don't even remember I must have missed the meeting or been asleep.
I think you need more detailed design
I
to get
think-
like contractors to
So what
bid.
I
Once-
what I-
one-
what I-
right,
what
the
I would
first-
recommend- what I would recommend right now is talk to Castle Booze.
Right,
Find out
yes.
how much they want to
Bring
let's say,
back.
to do the specifications and get it to a conceptual design basis that we could put out to bid. Let's get the numbers from them for that, and whatever it is, and then we'll go out to bid with the whole project one shot. Let's not break it apart.
like, so we have a project schedule,
Yeah,
like,
but my-
just like this, the design, and so you're talking about design right here.
Yeah, I think you have to talk to Castle Blues and say, what do we need to do to bring it up to a bidding level, to get contractor pricing?
And we're looking to do it all one shot. We don't need phases.
I
The
think
demo, the cleanup, building the whole thing, whatever you guys want. Just make sure it's all in a plan that we can get out to bid.
Okay, so let's say we do this, right? we don't have approval, we don't have Board of Finance money, we don't, I'm just,
Nobody does in any project.
No, how we do it is we get it out to bid, we understand what the cost is, then we send it back to town council. Say, here's what it's gonna cost, here are the contractor quotes. This is why they keep pushing it to us, because we give them a package they can understand. And then they can put hard numbers on it in the budget and move forward with it. So that's the way the process is working.
And when we get this and we see a range, the range is expensive. So if I told you, oh yeah, I'll sell you a car, it's either gonna be 3,000 or 9,500.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna come back, the first thing you're gonna say is, which is?
so do you guys will hire
No,
Castle
we
Blues
won't
for
hire.
this?
You go back to Castle Blues,
Because they're not
let's
gonna, I have
sign
no
time out
money,
there.
I have
Yeah,
no money to
no,
pay.
we understand.
Yeah.
So get the price out of them to do it. Let us know. We'll tell the town council we authorize them to move forward with putting the drawings together to get it out to bid.
they appropriate the money. And I think that the key thing for you to say to Castle Blues is, we need to get drawings that can
It's a
be
complete
bid,
set of drawings.
a complete set of bid documents.
And specifications.
They know what that means, and I think what you got is not a complete set of drawings, which is why everybody still goes.
It's not detailed enough.
It isn't.
To the price.
That's a bit.
Conceptual
Yeah,
pricing,
no,
yeah.
yeah.
So they're gonna say,
No,
okay,
we know
it's gonna
that would
cost
have to
you.
be the next step,
But
but,
just to let you guys know something, town council was pushing phasing. So
right,
Don is afraid that come back and say it's $5.5 million. They're gonna go, what? We wanted you to break it up into 2
You
and
gotta
3.
give them the whole thing, and then.
but you
can
gotta
take
give
what
them
you-
enough so that they
Hold
can
on,
say,
hold on.
we'll do this piece first.
We can phase it, and you gotta tell them that, so they say it's gonna cost,
We put it out the bid, we'll clean it up in the bid.
yes, $5. Here's somebody who understands that, because we're doing it right now. Your
So-
$5.5 million project, first phase is gonna be $1.8 million, second
Yeah.
phase is gonna be $2 million. We get that.
So one of the things that we've asked of the council as well is with this project, you need to show the townspeople that you're moving forward with something.
Mhm.
So even if you go out, get your bids, and it's gonna say demo, somehow we gotta get that demolition started, right? If they agree, because if there's surplus funds, if there is, even the mayor has said he would try and push some surplus funds so that we could get things in a position so that now you just put the splash pad in and blah, 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 blah. Again, that would come through the bidding, but, I appreciate what you're saying. When I'm just sitting here, this was done March 11th, and this was after request. This is a summary of what this was. This was done January, then we went back in February, and we went back in March.
We're not gonna
with
run you
this.
around, so, yeah, very
I
simple
know,
process.
but
We
you have to realize, though,
If we get a bid over this winter, you can start next year. Early next year, you can start. So that's the process.
only if you get money.
Well, but that's
The
not
money-
up to us.
Yeah.
I know,
The
I
whole
know.
point is we're gonna
I know.
give them something
That's
which
why-
says it'll
yes,
definitely
I know.
cost you $5.5 million.
Yeah.
I think there's a little communication gap between Parks and Recs and the town and what the definition of bid documents is, because we're used to seeing bid documents that are very specific, and here's somebody right here who does it all the time.
And we worked with the,
So he
right,
understands what it is.
Castle Booze understands.
they
too.
understand
Yeah,
too.
but that's
They
No,
not.
no,
got
no,
it.
the,
Yeah.
the council said you guys are gonna do this. I mean, that's,
Yeah,
That-
It's just,
but, so we'll go back.
Control the process.
All right, we'll go back, we'll tell Castle Blues, this is what we're gonna get, and then we come back to you with those documents? Or do we go right to
No,
council?
so what happens is Castle Blues is gonna put together a number for putting in the drawings and the specifications for
The
us.
cost of doing that,
The cost of doing that. It just
and then we're
comes
gonna come back
us,
to you with that
And then
cost?
all we do is send it to town council, we're good with this, we reviewed what it says in the proposal, we're fine with it, let's move forward with it, or maybe change this, correct this, and then we move forward with it. We send it to them for authorization to go out to bid, that's as far as it goes.
So you're gonna do that,
Yes.
you'll send it to council?
It's on the agenda.
Yeah.
And if Castle Blues got questions, they can call Mike up and Mike will tell them exactly what they have.
they need.
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
want
no,
them
he
to manage
knows.
the bid process too in their quote?
Sure.
Or
Right, that's,
Sure.
yeah,
the other way to do it is to get the bid
I think we should give
package
it to
and
Jagunski, they get better prices.
I mean, do you want to go to bid or you want to just get a professional estimate?
What's that?
Do you want to go to bid or do like a cost estimate? Get a cost
I
estimate.
think we just go out to bid.
Okay,
Let's get the actual numbers for it, and we can figure out the phasing before we go out to bid.
all right, yeah.
And that plus that'll give them a number that they could factor in upcoming budgets.
Who selects the vendors that you go to? I just asked that for like splash
So,
pads, like,
so like.
you'll
us,
work with Steve Wood?
So when we get all the bids back, Castle Blues will make the recommendation based on the bids. They'll look at them all and say, based on the analysis of the bids, we feel this guy is the most qualified, and here's his price to do it, and we're good with it. He sends us a letter saying that, goes right back to town council for.
So they're
final
like a
approval.
general, Council Blues, the kind of general to,
They're not gonna be the general contractor, they're gonna be the architect or / engineer for the project, put together the drawings and specifications. We'll figure out how we're gonna put it out to bid. Is it design build or whatever we need to do? Does that make sense?
oh, yeah.
Do you understand a little bit more now about
No,
where things are?
Then, yes, we've done field.
No, or you have to.
We've done field designs. We've done all these new fields, right? And what's frustrating, we never had to come, you, Steve, you've been on it. We never had to come here. I know things have changed, so we're coming here. It's just, in
A
this
field-
transition, people aren't, Mike, people aren't all working towards the same, and we're hearing different things. So that's why I appreciate
Well,
you
again,
listening.
We only know what we know, and when I saw a splash pad, I said, well, there's no commercial building on this. Why the hell are we getting?
I thought
There's a
because
pump
maybe
house.
because of the
I know, yeah,
bathrooms
but that's gonna
that
be,
we're gonna
that's
need.
gonna be demolished.
I was
So,
gonna say, I'll take the bathrooms out, just give me porta potties for right now, I just wanna get
I
this going.
think the intention of the town, is, reading
Yeah.
the tea leaves, is to force things back to the interested parties who are asking for this, instead of just somebody saying, we need a new, and I'm just gonna pick senior center for $70 million, but not doing any of the work. And so we're not supposed to do the work. The people.
We are,
No, I know,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
My point is, I think the town is pushing back and saying to the interested parties, you gotta do your homework. You gotta.
What's
force this.
happening?
but I will tell you, look at the fields that we've put in, right? We have Parks and Rec, and credit to Steve Wood and Jen. They have put together RFPs, that are pretty good, and we've done a good job with the fields. This is something a little different because we haven't done that. But like I was used to working with them, with the RFPs and the architect, they selected the architect here that worked on this feasibility study. That's what I'm used to. Now,
I think this is.
we
a
got to
lot
go
more
through
money.
you, and,
So-
as long as you guys push this thing through, I'm
So,
fine with that.
for instance, in the past, what's happened, the golf course came forward.
I
They were gonna do their own design on what they needed for golf course, and they're not golf course designers.
yeah,
And I understand what they're trying to do. They think they're gonna save the town money. They're not, because you have to go out for a proper bid. You have to get the bids back by a golf course designer, because if it fails 3 years down the road, and then you got a pile of crap, we blame ourselves.
yes.
So this is why the process is being controlled this way, to make sure that everything goes to town council, has a set of drawings, a set of documents, a hard number on it, and we have some reliable party behind it all.
It's responsibility.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's the idea behind
Which we've-
the
yeah,
process.
yeah.
And we're just trying to tell everyone involved with it that this is the process. And again, it's to make, it's a long-term investment in the town. We're responsible for the investment in the town. We want to make sure it's done right. Not, in the past, there's been some sketchy things done, let's say, that shouldn't have happened that way. And I think this process is to clean that up, moving it forward. And again, it's just to try to keep everyone on the same page, and we can follow the process very clear. Get a set of drawings, plans, specifications, out to bid, get the numbers back. Here's what it cost over 2 years. They put it in the budget for the 2 years, everyone's good to go. Now we're halfway through a project. Well, we forgot about this, we missed that. You can't afford those. So
I
That's why we
appreciate
can be a
that.
pain in the
I
neck
appreciate
asking a lot of questions, because people used to just turn stuff in and say, we need this. And we say, well, if it's up to me, and I'm gonna put something together, I'm not gonna have this, and this. Oh, we need this. Well, how would I know?
Right.
We're administrators here.
like this,
That's all.
this is an asset to the town, like you just said, with the people that go to it. We want to make sure it's a sustainable asset for the next 20 years if possible.
Yeah.
Same thing with the golf course.
I
same
don't
thing with
think
the
any
police
of
station.
us disagree with that, and I
Yeah.
think, but I do want to give credit to Public Grounds. They have done a very good job with their RFPs and their projects that they've done in the past, and the selection of the companies. That being said, I appreciate what you guys, are being asked to do as well. So we just want to move this thing forward.
So
I'm gonna tell
yeah,
them to
Send me a quote.
detail.
Well, you actually, you
I
have
gotta
to
get a
be,
quote for a design.
you have to make sure your
bids.
commission is good with the quote, and then it will go to,
Yeah, we'll have an emergency meeting.
And,
We
and Donna, if
really
you
need
have,
to
if
push
you're,
this.
if you're stuck or you're in a crack or things aren't working, just say to Castle Booths, whoever you talk to, Can you give Mike a call?
Yeah, no,
'Cause
no,
Mike
we
and-
will.
Yeah,
We-
and
They
I've
talk
worked
the
with them
With
same
before.
language.
Steve, and Steve,
And
yeah,
Woody,
you
too.
guys have worked
Yeah.
very well, so that's not a problem, we'll do that. And we will meet before, we usually meet the same night, like we just had our meeting tonight. We'll meet before, so it's on your agenda the next month. Okay? Thanks so much,
Okay.
appreciate it. Then
Okay.
you guys pass it to council, so they see it 2 weeks later.
Why don't you take that you're dreaming so well? That's pretty good.
I just tell you, you gotta, push, push,
Go home
push.
and
I
finish.
need that stuff that you take to go to sleep, because I don't sleep too
It's called wine.
well. Yeah.
I'll see you. All right,
Thanks,
okay,
Donna.
thanks. See
Thank you.
later.
Take care.
See you. Good luck. Okay? It's easy for me, we do buildings.
All right. Police station.
I don't know, where do you want to start? I
How to
actually
follow
made-
that, huh,
Start there.
Brian?
Yeah, why don't we start? This is the air handler unit that
Wanna suck it in the water?
supplies the Board of Ed. And then I have oversight, I blew up plans.
Smelly one?
Yeah.
I got a
Smelly
hand-
one.
Sound humidification unit.
So Brian can take you through the, if you recall, with the odors are coming
This is my
in.
old planning and zoning trick. Pass it out, not to be there, so I don't have a chance to look at it.
I can explain it.
Look at it anyway. Looking at where this mechanical unit sits, it's been a mystery as to why they're getting the odors into the Board of Ed. This is a replacement unit. The unit that was supplying air to the Board of Ed was hanging inside in the storage unit, and it was getting fresh air off a louver, which was up about 12 feet off the ground, bringing in fresh air into the ceiling hung unit.
Same side of the building?
Yeah, it was just inside
Yeah,
instead of,
Yeah, it had a,
but to make room for the sally port entrances, we had to take the unit out, move it outside, and we put it on the ground. It's a brand new unit.
Yep.
And the old unit, Doug has it, he was gonna repurpose it for something.
The louver was up high.
The louver was up high.
That's
That makes sense to me.
So when this gets down to grade level, it's a brand new unit, but you can see the leaves,
Like the leaves from my
the
yard.
leaves are
Brian.
pulled into it. And they're smelling this musty odor, but only when it rains. It's only when
Same
you
thing
get,
in my house.
yeah, when you get the rain or the humidity. And Doug and I have looked at this, mechanical engineers looked at it, the mechanical contractors looked at it. They first thought it might have been an animal which was inside the
Died.
duct that might have, caused the odor. But that would have been all the time. It's not just rain events. So we feel there's something outside in the environment that's creating this, and I don't know if it's the Hall Farm, they're just, over the hill, and it's pushing some odor. We've talked about a lot of things, but because it's just a rain event, we think it's pulling that dank, musty odor off grade. So we
We
put
should
a,
right,
yeah,
continue this out. It's a swamp, right?
No,
Is it sound attenuated duct? Does it have lining in it?
no,
The ductwork does not have an internal lining.
only for a certain length, not the entire length.
Right in the beginning?
Yeah.
So the unit's got to go up 3 feet and you got to change that lining out. You're never going to get the smell on that. So,
you mount it on some block.
well, they make a what do you
Couldn't
call
the
it?
air intake get like a,
Yeah, that's what I
like a
was.
periscope?
why not, yeah, raise it up?
You can't, because it doesn't have enough force to draw it through. So you're going to have to raise the unit up 3 feet. They make a metal stand for it.
Yeah.
Put it on that, and then the first 12 feet or whatever you have for the insulated duct, the interior attenuated duct's already got this thing. Yeah, it's all, and it dries out, but as soon as it rains, it gets soaked again. And that's where the smell.
Pulling that moisture into it.
Yeah.
So I'd raise it up off the ground, 1, and then 2, I'd change the internal duct lining for the first 10 feet.
3 feet is up.
Or whatever the length of it is.
No,
No, it's talking vertically.
Yeah, 3 feet. So what's the stone winter? That's where you gotta get it above. I mean, it's 40 inches.
Well, right now, it's gonna get, anything is gonna get blocked, so you think that's gonna be an improvement.
The other thing that Doug looked at is all this grass that's around it.
Yeah,
He
that
doesn't like the maintenance of having to maintain it and mow it and get up near this
Or
unit.
concrete sidewalk.
Yeah. Just,
Well, if you raise it up, it
So-
goes away.
You can see we have stone up against the building.
yeah.
Doug wants to get rid of the grass, put weed barrier down, cover this whole area in stone, then they don't have to mow it. And he wants to put a fence around this unit, so Board of Ed isn't looking at it. Because he's thinking there's a
Yeah.
out of sight, out of mind.
Don't think about my problem.
I agree with everything you said too.
So this is a sketch to convert it to stone and put a privacy fence around it with a gate. You can still have access to it for maintenance.
What kind of fence?
Maybe I'll keep some leaves
Chain
on
link?
it.
It's a vinyl privacy fence.
There's a detail.
That's not gonna help with odor.
Oh, sorry.
Wrong way. Raise it.
Yeah, but that's,
Replace that line.
people will read that one.
So I haven't given this to anybody yet. I haven't given this to Millennium.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring it by you tonight.
I think everything you said, I agree with.
Yeah.
I think putting the stone over there is good. I think putting a fence around it is good. I just think you need to get it up higher.
But if you raise, you gotta put a higher fence. Instead of 4 feet, you
Well, then we go to 6 foot or 8
Yeah,
foot
get a
fence,
6
whatever.
or 8 foot fence. There's nothing back there, right?
Well, actually, right now it says.
No, it's
it's
6 foot.
right now.
This is a 6-foot fence.
That's a 6 foot.
Yeah,
So that should be
the
fine.
detail is 6-foot fence.
So now you gotta rework the ductwork though.
Yeah.
You
It's all
would,
gotta be
you
rebuilt.
would. You have to redo the ductwork.
But again, I think it's just a design thing. If whatever you raise it up, the 36 inches or whatever you raised it up, it's all part of let the ductwork guy redesign the ductwork. And
The ductwork comes across a grade, but then it goes up the building and in.
Maybe they
So-
can put the ductwork up off. the
They just
ground.
have to
Yeah,
reduce the
yeah.
vertical.
Put the ductwork on stands.
Right.
Keep it off the ground.
So the ductwork would go up with the unit.
yeah,
Yeah.
So you just reduce the
Just,
vertical.
Oh, I see, the vertical, you just chopping the
Yeah.
vertical and going up.
You take the vertical, you take
Oh,
everything
okay.
else and push it up.
Now
Just
going
put some
over to the
supports.
building, would there be, I mean, it's, somebody's gonna, people.
Well, it's gonna be
dumping
hidden
on
anyway.
Well,
it.
it's stone, it's behind the fence. I
Yeah,
think
it
it's just
doesn't
gonna
really
be,
matter.
it's gonna be out of sight, out of mind.
yeah, I agree with, like you said, everything you said. I just raise it up. And then the lining internal for that, you may have to take the 6 or 8 or 10 feet, whatever the lining goes.
Well, if you're gonna raise it up and you gotta rework this, you're gonna
Yeah.
get rid of the lining anyway, you gotta rework the duct.
And it's gonna face that gate. So that's where the maintenance is.
Risk of sounding stupid, are there people like nasal engineers who know that 3 feet up is gonna avoid odors like this, or is this a one-off?
We've been trying to figure out what it is. You go out there and you don't really smell it. But in the Board of Ed, they've brought in candles and incense and everything to try to mask it. But
Yeah. it doesn't-
I haven't actually gone in and smelled it. I don't know if you've
No.
gone in there and smelled it. Doug says every time he goes in there now, it smells like candles and incense, so he can't even smell it
You're sure it's not hiding something?
either.
The only-
Doug's not sure he has the forces that can do all this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go outside.
Millennium's one option because they still have a contract that's open with the town and this is their project. So that's one option. I don't know if you want it to go to more than that for a pricing.
No, get it to Millennium
Yeah.
for pricing. Let them play
They
with
did the
it.
original. Millennium did
That's
that.
Millennium.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
talked to the police today, they're very happy with the one. They liked working with us guys.
They have been good.
That's a pleasant surprise there. I thought when the low bidder usually get the low bidder blues there.
You know, they've been good, but they've been dragging this project out. It was supposed to be November.
Yeah.
When it was supposed to be substantially complete in November.
Do you want everything?
That's
As
the
long
good
as
with
it
the
came
bad
out
though.
good, right?
I mean, you gotta weigh your,
Right, that wheel, good, fast, and cheap. You can only have two.
they're not really good at closing out this contract. They still have $169,000 owed to them.
Yeah.
There's not
Yeah.
$169,000 worth of work down there. And it's retainage. It's the additional locker scope that they're still waiting for the lockers to
Oh,
come
they
in.
didn't do that? Oh.
Any idea, I know I sound like Donna right now, not to pick on your bride, Barbara.
Pick away.
What's it gonna cost?
Well,
Yeah,
so,
before anything else. What would something like this, in your estimation, just pick a number out of the blue?
If they're gonna raise this up 3
Yeah.
feet and all that, you're gonna be 25,000.
Yeah. So we still have enough money left in that contract, but we could probably do it via change order if we had to.
Yeah, We haven't, there's 152,000 net change by change orders. Like, it wasn't, we didn't use a lot of money.
Yeah,
But we just reduced the contingency by $75,000.
it's okay, we still have enough. We still have,
To look.
I mean, somebody in the town's got to spend the money, we might as well
So
spend it
tell,
on this project.
tell them
Do
what
it
you
right.
want to do, Brian, and let's see, let's get
Yeah.
the number back for the change order.
Yeah.
and then How quickly they can do it.
And I'm holding this 169 until
Yeah.
they give me everything I need.
Yeah, no.
And that's
keep going.
closeout documents,
O&Ms,
warranties,
yeah.
O&Ms. I mean, it's gonna be
Legal
held.
waivers.
If they don't wanna,
Golden rule, you must the golden rule.
Yeah.
so.
That's why you're the competent architect
so
in charge.
there's a lot of leverage here on the town side.
Yeah.
At 169,000. The other thing I needed to discuss is substantial completion. I haven't written a certificate of substantial completion for the police department yet. That's the start of warranties. That's the start of, I haven't written one yet, but they've occupied.
Yeah.
So in fairness, we have to come up with a date of what's the date are you comfortable with?
So you got a lot of things to discuss with them.
No, it's the date they had substantial use of it. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really
That's the
gotta
start
be,
date.
that's what I'm
So you
gonna,
determine what
go
that
back.
So I think it's sometime in April.
Yeah, I
they
think we
move
have
in.
the, I think it was right after the last meeting, that PD was moving in the next,
Right, right.
so it would have been,
12, 11?
yeah, it would have been the
something like
following
that.
week when they
We've been
moved
on
in.
the- we've been
Yeah.
on the 10th.
They're
Yeah.
very
Forward
happy with
income
the
tax
space.
day. You know.
Yeah, they're very happy with the space. They couldn't wait to move in. Not that they needed to. Everything's working. The cameras are working, access control, everything's working.
Well,
There-
technically, do we have a TCO down there?
I don't know. Typically, I do my substantial completion first and then.
Issue the
building
letter
permit
and then
comes
you have
second.
a TCO.
I know the fire marshal signed off on life safety.
Why don't you backdate a TCO for the date of substantial completion? And let's get that in at least.
I think we need to close these
Yeah.
things off
I'm with you.
just to
Yeah.
make sure
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we're good with.
Because the C of O can
occupancy.
be later, it doesn't matter, but the TCO we definitely need.
They've really been stealth on me for a lot of the month, or a lot of the year, really. I've been pushing them, and I don't know, they moved. I don't know.
Didn't Peter retire?
I don't know if Peter's still around.
I think he retired.
I think he retired. There's a new guy, Tom, that is emailing me. I wouldn't be surprised if I try to call him tomorrow and there's no answer. But it's $169,000.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about it. There's a lot of leverage there. So.
They're a very wealthy group, apparently.
So based on your last recommendation, I did go to the police department and I did review with them. Here, bunch of
Let's give it a pass it along.
Just looking at this on the wall.
I did review with them, Project 2. And it's pretty simplistic. It's not a lot, the red lines are new walls. Everything else, if you see a line in black here, it's an existing wall.
Yep.
So the biggest area of renovation is the locker rooms, which is over on the right. Obviously, they want to turn that into a library, support services, sergeant's office. Now the library, it says library, don't.
I know, it's not really bad.
I know what it is, yeah.
It's a quiet room.
It's a fire room, it's a lactation room, it's a lot of
You
things.
can't say that word.
But we're gonna call it a library.
Multi-purpose.
It's a multi-purpose library. So it has a sink in it, it has a refrigerator. It's a library. They like this layout.
Good.
The difficulty that I see plumbing wise is the day room is wanting sink, refrigerator range. I have no plumbing over where that day room is. So I might have to pump that sink out at that location. I originally had the day room over where support services was. And that's where all the wet area is for the locker rooms. So we had drains, we had things we could connect to. I don't have a drain over near this day room. So that may be a pump situation to make that
They
happen.
couldn't put the sergeant's room where the day room is? Needs to go there?
That's where the sergeants are now.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do, put the ejection pump in the storage room?
That's what the plan is.
Yeah, that's good.
And you run it outside or run it inside?
No, just run it inside.
We'll run it inside to a pump, a sump, and then pump it over, probably pump it over to where the locker rooms were.
Yeah.
But everything else is pretty simplistic. The public lobby, you might notice the public lobby gets larger.
Yeah.
And now the public has direct access into a training classroom. So you don't have to get buzzed in to get to the corridor. And then from the corridor, who knows where you have access.
Oh, the chief told me that those two doors in the corridors, you have to get buzzed in. You don't have to get buzzed into the training classroom.
Correct.
But the corridors,
The
not,
corridors,
no passage.
you will have access control.
Right.
But for a police commission meeting, you
Yeah,
can come, public can come right into the
Come right
lobby,
in.
right into the training classroom.
yeah,
You
They
just have
can't
to
go any
secure-
further.
You just have to secure the other door in the training classroom.
Right.
right.
They'll have access control on the other one going out. And they have access back into the lobby to get to a handicapped accessible restroom. So the public is only training classroom lobby.
This is simpler than I thought it was gonna be, actually.
Where is that restroom gonna be? Up,
It's already there.
yeah, is it up here?
Yeah, it's in there.
It is.
Yeah,
Those
okay,
are the two restrooms we renovated.
right, okay.
Almost do sofa now.
So
You almost do
the
sofa
second
now.
page is the lower area. The second page, they do want prisoner processing renovated too. And prisoner processing was they didn't make any changes to what we had proposed. We're gonna initiate these booking rooms. It's for officer safety. Anybody coming from Sallyport, which is the red area to the right,
Mhm.
comes into prisoner processing. They can go right into a booking room, close the door. They're secured within that booking room. Right now, they have to put multiples into one caged area. And the safety factor on that is not good. So if they bring in multiples, they have two booking rooms. If they have more than two, they're keep them in the Sallyport until they can process them within prisoner processing. This gives them an area for an interview space within the hardened prisoner processing area. So that's a gut and renovate. And while that happens, they will need a reciprocal agreement with another community where they'll just take them to a neighboring town to process. Or they said they can set something up in the Sallyport temporarily, like a
Wire.
minor booking,
Yeah,
holding bench, breathalyzer, fingerprint, and just do the processing in the Sallyport while this gets renovated, and the contractor would have access to the old Sallyport. They can go from the old Sallyport in, and they don't have to access the new Sallyport. So that can be, gut renovate, get that done. This is gonna have to be done in phases, because the contractor is gonna only have access to certain areas. And we're gonna have to phase this in about a 2 or 3 phase shifting around. We're gonna use this, detectives are in the training classroom now. A lot of this detective bureau is vacant because they've moved out evidence. So that detective bureau would be done first. The locker room would be done first. And then the dominoes game starts to shift, where you can go to different areas. But it's not that difficult. The thing that I don't know yet is on the mechanical side, how much this is going to impact or require new mechanicals. You can look at the floor plan, it doesn't change. So you can say that all the mechanical units are good and we're just going to repurpose.
So a couple ducts and
Redo the
Lights.
ductwork, redo the
lights.
air circulation.
few light switches.
Because that's the only thing I would say down there now is it's sort of like, I don't feel there's enough air changes, let's say.
If this gets into a mechanical project, then costs are
Yeah, I know.
gonna go up.
yeah.
But I think I need to get my engineer in here to evaluate this plan, which they now like, and evaluate what's the condition of the mechanical units to make this happen. And it's a good opportunity to take ceilings in a lot of these spaces, which have been non-accessible ceilings, replace them out for accessible ceilings and do new lighting as we kind of follow through the plan.
The only place you need a hard lid is in the booking room, right?
These are hard ceilings in prisoner processing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The booking
just in
room.
the booking rooms.
Yeah.
Because those have like the case crackers, all that stuff in there too, right?
In the interview
Recording.
room.
That's it?
It
They don't
just-
need it in booking?
You just
Just have
need
cameras.
camera and audio.
But you will need a hard look test. Have your engineer look at it mechanically and see what makes sense to it.
So this seems to be what they'd like to see going forward.
No, the chief said he loved it.
Yeah, they were very, they want to get going. Obviously.
It is a big improvement, and if they can make see this happen, then they feel that we've met their need. This and the prisoner processing area.
So you're gonna have the drawings done yet?
Once I get a mechanical answer to this, I can put a number on it and say, here's the cost for architectural design services.
Okay.
And then the next step would be get that approved, and we'll give you a date to go out to bid.
Just so you know, they're thinking by the end of the summer. As they let me in the back way, come up here. That's
They
those are
whispered
the
in your ear.
instructions I
Yeah,
got.
Let him
that's
out the
what-
front
that's
door.
what you had to say.
But they want it bid by the end of the summer?
No, out to bid.
Out to bid, end of summer. Well, it's not,
I
that's
said-
probably doable.
Brian's a superhero.
We have a lot of this
Yeah.
already in our system.
Sure you do.
We have this plan. And if you look at the scope of change, it's not that much,
You should raise the bar.
not that much.
You say that now.
We can make that happen. That's all I have.
We're saving this, right, Lisa? We're saving this tape.
Yeah. It's not that hard, Lisa.
Brian, I have one question on this map, the bottom floor
Yes.
in the prisoner processing area. What does intox mean?
It's a
Where they keep the
breathalyzer.
drunks?
Yeah, it's a DUI.
Seriously?
It's a breathalyzer.
Oh, that's, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know in case I have to get there.
In case you get locked up that way?
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian, good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good
Bye.
job.
Have a nice night.
All right.
You too.
Did I miss anything, Mike?
No, he's gonna do the invoice for
I was
Millennium.
gonna say, do you want him to discuss the Millennium invoice or?
I think it was signed off, right?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I signed and certified it.
So we have an invoice. What,
Thanks,
from
Brian.
Millennium? Hold on a second. Just says invoice. I have an application for payment from Brian.
For Millennium.
Yeah. For Millennium, signed by Brian, for $35,957.50.
Make a motion.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay.
Tom Rocco, you good too?
Aye.
Just making sure you're still awake.
You're good.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm on mute, sorry. We're good.
Okay.
All right, HVAC upgrades.
Let's see, where are we on this? We have the two contractor bids out. They were advertised on May 1st. Bid due date is the 29th. I did the pre-bid walkthroughs today with Fire and CES. And there were three major contractors who were there, which, and Brian from Newfield was also there, but he was more as a bidder because we also have the construction manager, construction management bid out as well. And that's out. That was done on the 29th, and the bid due date for that is May 13th. Get them in early if we can do that. So we're on track for those three RFPs and bids. I'll be issuing the MEP, the architectural civil, and the commissioning agent by next week with a bid due date of, I think, the first week in June. So we should all be, and Doug came up with an approval process timeframe where it'll come into your meeting on the 12th and then go to the town council meeting the next week. And then we can do the contract awards. So the earliest the contractor probably can get in is July 9th, after the 4th of July. So we're not losing the whole season, but we're at least getting them in the door. They can start ordering the chillers and everything else. So that's what's going on. The Hubbard, the swing set was done. The old swing set was taken down, the new one was installed. You have an invoice for the Creative Recreation, and the guy was nice enough to send a picture of the new one, which is refreshing, that you get an invoice and a picture of the completed project. And then the Y area will be done before the contractor starts their work. The fencing and the play area will be moved over probably right after school ends, unless Ashley gets it done before then. But right now, the way the schedule's working out, it'll probably work fine. So that'll be all cleared for the contractor to go in and start their work. So that's sort of where things stand right now.
The walkthrough wasn't mandatory, right?
It was for the contractors.
It was?
Yes.
So we have 3 contractors?
3 were at the pre-bid, yeah. I'll have to check and see if it was mandatory, actually. I thought it was mandatory for the contractors. I could be wrong.
So we waived that. Check and see.
I'll check.
Yeah.
So.
That's what we're afraid of. We don't have enough.
Yeah,
there.
but-
That's what I was wondering if there was one.
Yeah, but Doug also had said that he's open to setting appointments to go back in, especially for the subs. If the subs weren't there today, they could come and make an appointment with facilities to go through each school. And I think they're going to try to batch them. So Scott from Fryer asked any bidder who wanted to do that to submit an RFI on that. And then once Doug is finished with his stuff this week, he can focus on that. And Willard, they're back on, I sent that note around, they're back on commissioning and balancing, and I guess they're waiting for the real hot weather. But that's, so Newfield was back on them and touching base with the commissioning agent and Millennium. And there's a meeting tomorrow on all of the outstanding items that's generated by Allstate. So Allstate's having a meeting tomorrow, which I'm going to be at.
They need a week of 80 degrees.
They do? Okay.
It's gonna be June.
Yeah. But I think they were doing last minute balancing and stuff in preparation for that. And the commissioning agent was poking around with the balancing contractor. So hopefully that gets done. And then we close this out with Allstate. And Allstate was actually one of the attendees today at the pre-bids. So.
You saw my comment back on.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
So as far as the
I kind of
hierarchy,
agree with Don. You need
to me, it's the construction manager would be the first person, the first entity that they would go to, right?
Well, I mean, usually you put mechanical under the architectural just so they coordinate. Because if you don't put them together that way, then they won't coordinate.
And that's been the way it's been working with the team right now, right?
So
Okay.
that's, and then after that, it goes to the contract.
Okay.
Because if you don't put that coordination factor in,
Yeah.
they're gonna do this every time something doesn't fit.
Yeah. All right. I'll put something together. I might run it by you guys because then where does the CM fit in all this? I mean, so, okay. All right. And obviously the PVC.
But more
You're
important,
the owner.
Don's right. You don't want to play he said, she said at the picnic with that.
Right.
You want to die in the beginning.
Whoever's the lead, just the language has got to be in there somewhere, completely coordinated drawings.
Gotcha.
And that needs to be.
Yeah, I think it's Fryer, or it's the architect. It's the lead.
Usually that's how it works.
That's the way it's been working. I think that's the way it should continue.
Because we're not doing a design build here.
No.
We're not doing a design assist either. Looks good so far.
All right.
Looks good.
Slab moisture review.
You wanna pay those bills?
Oh, yeah.
Their bills? Shit.
No, I don't.
Naughty word.
We did the Millennium one, man.
Yeah, but you have.
So I have
Fire and CS.
Yeah.
invoice.
See how organized I am. I got the bills right here.
You are good, Bart. Me too.
All right, I'll start
Because
with
Lisa organized me.
creative recreation,
Yep, swing set.
swing set, $14,354.
Make a motion, pay it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we have CES a bill for $1,400. Hold on a second. Which leaves them with nothing.
Well, they have,
Is this Hubbard
Of course,
or Griswold?
yeah,
CES,
yep, I'm just trying to read their bill and they never put anything in there.
Griswold or Hubbard?
I'm sorry, this is Hubbard. That's what I said, that. Hubbard, $1,400, 100% complete.
it went out to bid.
It went out, so. I need a motion, anybody, okay,
One second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Griswold, $2,800. Apparently there was a prior $1,400 bill that wasn't paid, right?
Back in
Is that
January.
what you're,
But you just want to approve the one for tonight. We've already processed the previous one, even though they didn't get the payment yet.
So it's only 14.
okay,
Yeah.
well, all right, I got you. So it's $1,400, which again closes that out for Griswold.
Make a motion we pay.
Second.
Any idea why? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any idea why that wasn't paid? It's been standing a long time,
It just takes a long time.
but the other one was. Roll backwards here. This one is from Fryer, $455.64.
Make a motion we pay the bill.
Griswold School.
Griswold.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. And then this one is for also for Fryer, $484.59 for Hubbard School.
I'll make a motion, we pay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, slab review. So we're done with invoices, right?
Yep.
I know, but I mean, I don't think Ashley is the one making the presentation. Let me just ask Ashley, how did your, have you been able to talk with anybody at the Board of Ed to figure out their feelings towards what we went over last week?
Yeah, so the superintendent is aware, our board is aware, they are looking forward to the presentation on Monday. I'm assuming that is still a go. To my knowledge, we have not yet received significant pushback. Everybody's aware as of right now it's not a health concern. So I made that very clear in all the updates. It was clear in the report. The report was shared to the board members. As far as I know, we did not receive any specific questions. As far as, I think we're all just kind of waiting to hear back from you guys as to what the plan is to actually, or what the schedule is to remove the contaminated tile. And again, interested in the architectural designs for the permanent fix once we have that. But they're aware everything's kind of in the works right now.
First things first, we gotta get somebody in there to fix this stuff. Am I aware of a meeting on Monday?
The
May
public
12th.
hearing, public meeting.
Oh, the public, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I thought it was a special, something like that. Okay.
And actually, I tried to confirm with John, he hasn't gotten, did he get back to you at all, Don? Okay, yeah, he hasn't responded yet, but he had agreed at the special meeting that he and the IH could make it, so I'll try to get a double confirmation on that from him. I know you're putting the agenda together for that meeting, so.
Yeah, the agenda has to be posted by tomorrow. I told her to go ahead. Worst case scenario, if they have to pull it, they'll pull it on Monday.
Okay. And then I think when Doug gets back, he has on-call, he said he has on-call contractors who could start the rip and replace program, the short term, for the tiles.
Okay, as long as they're, I mean, we can't just get any.
So we asked them.
Right, he
they were
said
mold-
they're all
mold
qualified,
certified
they're all,
Yeah.
yeah.
For abatement.
As long
So
as we have,
can make that, crystal clear that
yep,
they should be.
because that, we
Oh,
get
I know.
going on that, the long-term fix is gonna take a little bit longer, but the abatement, if people see progress on the abatement and it's done correctly, then,
Just so you know too, it wasn't the entire building
right,
where all the tile needed to be removed. It was only on the slab on grade locations that did not have a vapor barrier. When we did the new addition, there was vapor barrier installed, so those areas don't need to be replaced. The engineer that we hired, John Coco, he's gonna mark the drawing showing that. So then we can clarify even further on that.
Well, that'll help us to figure out square footage, how much we have to
Yeah.
permanently.
yes, yeah. So it's a lot less in scope than I thought originally.
And nothing,
Because
nothing on the second.
second floor, nothing, addition, nothing, but probably the entire rest of the building. But
Does
that's-
that include the 76th edition or just the older two editions, the original?
We gotta wait and see what he
You gotta
comes
wait,
back with.
yeah. My guess is if worst obviously shows up first, but if there's no moisture barrier on the 76 edition, that it just might be slower to
Right.
take up. I don't know, I'm not an engineer. But, and as long as we're doing this, it was, my opinion, seems senseless to
You
not
just
do it.
confirmed those. Yeah.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear that, Ashley? John Coca just confirmed that he'll be at the next week's meeting.
Him and the IH.
And the IH?
Yeah.
So it's a go.
But on agenda.
You.
What do we have next?
And that's, Ashley, you got anything else? You good?
For the BHF moisture? No,
You're
I'm
not
good with
good?
that.
She's
I'm good
good.
with that. I don't have anything else right now.
Okay, thanks. All right, McGee, classroom.
McGee,
science.
Ashley, I forwarded the RFP and the 3 bids to the group. And then you had noted there's $25,000 set aside. And did you guys recommend going with one of the bidders?
I was under the impression there's more than 25,000 set aside.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. So
Um,
essentially, what we want to do is go to council and award the bid. I mean, if you guys have looked at this and agreed to proceed to get the design for the classrooms, a curriculum-based design.
We sent that?
I sent to everybody, yeah. And I apologize. I should have sent it to the previous meeting, but it flew off my radar. So I sent it around. And if you need more time, you can just let me know what to do and I can.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we're gonna have to, we'll vote on it at next meeting, which would give it to, because this is a long-term project. When I spoke to the mayor, that he was looking at years to fit it into a budget, so.
Right.
Okay. All right.
I haven't had time to look at.
I
take
frankly
apart any
haven't
of them.
either with
Yeah.
all the stuff that's flying around with the
Yeah.
school bids and everything else.
So I'd like to, it's gonna be a lot of money, I'd like to take those.
So
bits
next
apart
meeting,
and
we'll see
because
if
there
we
was
can-
a big disparity in the numbers, I thought, based on what.
I can't come out and look at it.
So,
Okay.
So just want to be, we're holding again for the architectural designs. I just want to be clear with my board because they're interested in this. So we're not ready to award an architect to start designing this project?
we will be at the next meeting.
Okay,
Well, I don't know what, although it doesn't matter, I don't know how much money is set aside for
Well,
this, but you
that's-
have enough to do
Yeah,
whatever
but as
we
you
do.
keep pointing out, that's not really the PBC's.
Right,
It's
right.
Take us to
As
council.
long as they have it, yeah. So
And-
we'll make a recommendation for next month.
And usually when we do an agenda item, we have to identify an account. So that whole process.
Right.
It can't even go to the town manager to go on the agenda unless you identify an account with the money. So, but that's not your problem. That's on our end. So.
So we'll have reviewed it by next meeting, Ashley, and we'll make our recommendation. But I guess that's the one we have to go with. We're the ones going to recommend. So we'll probably talk to you before that to make sure are you guys okay with any of the three?
Well, the three that responded were Fryer, Silver Piccicelli, and then ID3K. I don't know much about them. I've not worked specifically with Silver Piccicelli. I have worked with Fryer. Fryer was the lowest bid. I'm fine working with Fryer. I think they're great. At least the people I've worked with. I can't really speak to the other guys because I haven't worked directly with them.
Okay. So you have no pro or con either anyway, which is good.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't recommend the K3 something. I didn't even recognize the name because they were twice the cost of both Fryer and Silver. So I would not recommend them.
Okay. Anything else on the science classrooms? No? All right. Town hall and the library roof.
Doug he was nice enough to send us an update because his father's wake is tonight, whatever. So,
yeah.
And that's another reason why Woody is not here tonight for the track. But anyway, he's basically the roof replacement project is still waiting on the steep grant notice. And that should have been out by now. So everyone's sort of like, where is it? So that's where
Are
it
they
stands.
going to replace the gutters with the new? I was over there today and the gutters were leaking at it like a sieve in front of the main entrance.
I think so, but we can.
Could Ashley leave?
Well, I just see her picture there.
I know, she took her picture off, but could she leave the meeting now? Is she needed for anything else?
I need so. I'm waiting for the update on the Willard project, and then I'm leaving.
Willard School parking lot.
Yeah, the parking.
You can leave. That's going to be. I'm going to be popping out with that. Basically, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to.
Yeah, take your time. I'm multitasking.
Well, do you want to do it now? We'll just
move
it up. Let's move it up in the agenda.
We're gonna, based on the last meeting, we're going to just redo the parking lot. Wait for the next phase to do the, increased capacity on the upper lot. So, and I've been busy with all the other stuff going on with the other schools, so I haven't gotten the numbers, but the numbers are going to go down from the $400,000 that the council had in the capital plan that basically got referred to this group. So, but I haven't had time to do the detailed design and cost backup, and I'll have that done probably in the next week or two. So that's all I got on that. I've just been kind of overloaded.
Who's your assistant?
I wish I could clone myself.
Be careful with your wish for.
Yeah.
Bring that up as a budget item. Get it on our list.
Well, let's talk about some extra help coming on board, but who knows when that'll happen. So.
All right. Then back to Timberland Bunkers.
I talked to Sal, was it last week, and he said he's going to come. I think the Golf Commission approved the plan. Now they're getting the bid package together. Before that goes out, he wants to come and actually talk to you guys to make sure we're all good before they go out to bid. So they're getting there.
Okay.
So yeah, he said. I said, well, I should remind him. I said, remember, don't issue before the PBC looks and okays it. And he goes, yeah, I want to come when we have it ready and actually be at the next meeting when he has a package in his hands. So that's where that stands.
He wants to come for the June meeting?
When he has a package ready. We don't know yet.
We don't know what meeting.
Yeah.
How about the bridges?
Bridges will follow the bunkers. And I have a feeling that after this goes out to bid on the bunkers, we might want to talk about doing something now because we can do stuff concurrently.
And they just got one donated that they finally installed. I guess it was donated a year ago.
It was the It was the C, who was it? What
Central
college?
Connecticut.
Yeah, Central Connecticut project.
But it was done like a year ago and they
Yeah.
finally installed it.
Yeah, wait a minute, they just
They just.
dumped the
It was a
bridge over
pedestrian
twice?
bridge.
Yeah, they just took it and popped it in place.
That's right.
That was the day we were there for the.
Yeah.
Your tax dollars paid for the donated bridge, just so you know.
I'm sure.
Yep, that's right.
I just want to make sure that you got that in the back.
So there's one less bridge to do.
Been here 31 years, my taxes gone up every single year.
Consistent.
Next issue.
Proposed reconfigure of the visiting nurse associates.
You may recall that the PD, you allowed the PD contingency to be hit for this project to the tune of $75,000. That was approved by the town council. I brought it to them. They approved it, so now there's money there. Doug, I think, was planning on having a meeting. I don't know, he said yesterday, but I didn't hear anything about it. But I think they're trying to figure out what to do right now because it was conceptual. I think that they're looking at maybe some more options on that. So it's not.
Please tell me we're not going to do anything about this.
I don't. Right now, it hasn't been
Doug in
referred.
his area and you and your assistant doing that, and it doesn't have to come back to the PDC.
It has not been referred as a project to the Public Building Commission yet.
That's
They
right.
just wanted the money.
I know.
Now, I'm not saying it's not going to come back to this group, but right now there's no statement of need. There's no referral, no, that whatever. It
Can we
was
act
more.
like Trump and rescind the money? We just feel
Tom,
order.
Rescission.
It was a funding issue. That was the only thing it was.
Okay.
So we'll see where that ends
Gotta
up.
call it Deutsch.
Yeah.
And I know Ryan is deeply involved with that, and but I think they want to get something done before the elections or something in November.
Yeah. Register.
There we go.
I get it.
Yeah.
But
So
full speed ahead.
right,
You have the money. Go ahead.
I don't have anything.
Track replacement. Another public building commission.
Woody is again. He's got a conflict tonight because of the
Next one.
what's going on.
Good.
Yeah, next meeting.
Community center.
The 9 air quality systems waiting on the steep grant.
Okay. Moving along. Timberland roof window replacement. We were out there to take a tour. They need a new roof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys.
How's the building look?
Yeah.
Did you go for the
bill-
tour?
Yeah.
I didn't get notified.
Yeah, you did. They were diming on you for not showing up.
What was this?
Everybody,
It was
every
free
single
round of
person
applause,
was there.
too.
We're done. We were in Chicago.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But the roof is rusted and it's getting bigger, and if somebody were to step on it, they'd probably go right through
So
it.
they're gonna patch it this year and put money in the budget.
Right, and get a,
New one.
but it definitely needs a new, the walls are fine, and the structure's fine. There's no rust on any of the
Right.
steel. I mean, it just needs a roof
Desperately.
over
Right?
an ugly building.
Yeah.
Is it a metal roof?
Oh, yeah. But it's
One of those
been,
solar companies
it's
that
been
pay for the
patched, it's been
Put
filled
the-
in with stuff,
Added
it's
on.
been added on.
How are you able
Looks
to
like it
see the
belongs in
roof?
Kentucky.
With pictures.
Well,
Oh.
but you also, if you walk, if you
Go in the
you know,
back.
go back up the hill.
Oh, you
see
can
it in the
you can
back.
see down on it.
Did
Okay.
you walk through?
No, they wouldn't let us on.
Could you see holes through the roof?
No, but you can see, the pictures of rust, there's a lot of rust.
The problem is the insulation, I guess, sags.
Right, the
When it-
insulation inside,
when
the
it-
color's
it's
leaking
insulated.
because the insulation's going.
and
Oh.
It dries out, it
Without
raises
a
up.
doubt, there's pools of water.
So we
That's
figure
why I
if
love it.
if it's fixed, the insulation will kind of self-support itself and I can pick and choose whatever.
And in the back of my little voice in my head, they said, "You want to go up on a ladder?" I could hear Don saying, "No, don't go up."
Exactly.
So-
Lawsuit.
Yeah, no, there's no way we would have gone up to walk.
So where does that stand? We're gonna get someone to look at it and design a roof system for it, or what's going
I
on?
don't know that you need a design. It's
There's the
barely
cameras.
above a flat. I mean, it's only got a.
So you're going back with a metal roof?
I think that would probably be I mean, because you're on a metal building. I don't know what you're gonna do. Put a thatch. I mean, it's flat essentially. It's not. It doesn't have much of a pitch. So, and I think the metal, and it's the original roof.
Right.
I mean, it's 50 years old. I don't know how it lasts.
And they got some.
50 years old
They
with
got
about
some
20 pounds of
skylights,
caulk.
Which.
Yeah, the money's worth out of it.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. So
The structure sound.
the structure sound, as you can see, there's no rust on any of the beams.
And if a piece of siding went, they've got siding
They've got
on all the,
siding all every place else. to
all
put
the
it, attached
additions,
to
they can just
siding,
take
yeah.
that off. and pop it on.
So
Match
if they
the
get a
same
roof, the building will be relatively stable. We'll get that condition on.
Excellent.
But,
Okay.
and I think it'd be a nothing job for a roof company.
Right.
You know,
So patch this year, roof replacement next year.
They said they could get by with patching this year and next year. You know, get a call, you know, go out,
Right.
get a bid, go out, get it, you
And
know, proper.
Mark was supportive of that idea.
Yeah, yeah. So Mark was there, Ryan was there.
Right.
It's like going to an 8th grade dance. Where's Don? Where's Don? Where's Don?
Chicago. Sage Park.
Already did it.
Or did say
With the guy?
No,
Timberland.
we have to do anything else with that or just?
Well, the quote is for 292, I think.
Yeah.
Did you see the
Yeah,
quote?
I did. I went
Yeah.
through the quotes.
Yeah.
We have to send it back to council that we approve it. or-
I guess so.
I don't know, were they asking for our approval or they just sort of have us?
Yeah.
look
I
and
would
make
see. I
sure
wish
it
Doug was here
okay?
because I don't know where he
Because Doug
wants.
did a lot of work on
I know he's.
I think
his
the only
note-
question, the only question I had, there was no answer, was on the rebate for the lighting from NU.
Mhm.
Because that could be a substantial amount of money.
it.
So
But
if we
according
did
to
that
him,
going-
we'd have to do the work, right?
Well, I don't know.
They're not
I
gonna
don't
do
know.
it.
I don't know. What's that?
Maybe Doug could.
Doug's probably done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the only piece I had, because it should bring back, quite a bit of money to the town.
Right.
And then also to offset the energy costs that we're paying.
Yeah.
So there's a number you can run that lowers that substantially.
So the 292 gets offset by the rebate, and then you could show the true accounting to the town council.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
you
you're
can look at the power savings over 20 years, it probably pays for itself.
saying. Yeah.
So I'm 100% supportive of it. I
Yeah.
think we should do it. So I make
Yeah, I agree. I thought
make a
that.
recommendation, we approve it.
They're one of the best companies.
Okay.
The
All right.
municipal lighting system for Sage Park for the baseball and softball fields.
So you can
You second?
tell the town council.
Second.
All in
Three
favor?
seconds. Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Peanut Gallery, you guys still there?
Yeah,
He gets goosebumps.
He's watching Andy Griffin rerun.
Yeah.
exactly.
So, I guess we've gone all over the new business, the old business.
Yeah, the senior center YMCA thing. I looked, by the way, at the CAD file that Cole sent me. It's not like there's stuff missing out of it, and it's read only. So I'm trying to think if the YMCA is asking for stuff. They'd love to get electronic. They would like to get an AutoCAD file of what Cole has.
Or he sent you PDF.
No, he actually sent me a DWG.
And
It's kind of read only, but I did the labels. I opened it up. Maybe it's not because I don't have the fonts with it or
I
whatever.
can
So
take a look at
yeah, okay. But
Well, it's their building, they can take
who?
the why.
Oh no, but it's already done. It's just we can just transfer it to
I
them.
think,
But
I think we should use different language for this, because what we're doing is we're looking at putting a road through. I wouldn't say subdividing, but dividing the property. And it's going to be parcel A and parcel B probably at some point. So I don't know if we want to call it the Y property.
yeah,
So just, I think for us is what our role is currently in this is probably really looking at, the bridge at the far end, the property acquisition, put
right,
the road going out,
right.
put the road through,
utilities.
and then, because we don't know
What they're
when
gonna
and
do.
if that project's going to go.
Right.
But we definitely have to look at it from the standpoint that we have to split that property up.
Yeah.
So I think
Right, so
that's,
you're a good point. Come up with the name for it.
I mean, what's the road?
Oh,
what's
okay.
the school?
Address.
Oh, you
Just
mean
like we did with the high
in the
school.
agenda here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the name of the road there where the high school is?
Well, Patterson Way
It's Patterson
on
Way.
Lower Lane is the access. I mean, you could go Patterson Way site and Lower Lane. Well,
I just call it the Patterson project.
Yeah,
okay,
Patterson Way project. Perfect.
okay. And we did talk about doing the borings, and I didn't get any quotes, so I should get some quotes. What was it? Connecticut soil?
Connecticut Test and Wealthy.
I know Welty, yeah.
The state, they may be under state contract too, so you can just pick them off there. So you know. Then it's,
We're talking about prices for track vehicle, non-track vehicle. You can do more with the track vehicle, but it's gonna cost you.
Right, and ignore the access way out to Lower Lane for now,
Unless we,
because that,
unless we can get permission.
Right.
And if I'm the owner,
Mhm.
I'm not giving permission if I have some kind of agreement.
Well, you're just a mean.
okay, so we'll keep it simple, on-site, boom, clean.
We can go to the edge if they wanna go around and do
Right.
one hole up at
the
the
road,
side.
Oh, okay,
Right, right.
yeah,
We
Go out
do,
by
we
the
can,
road,
you know,
yeah.
bracket both sides.
yeah,
we own 6 feet in.
yeah,
Let's do it.
we probably own more, but, yeah, okay. All right, let me get some quotes on that, and we'll go decision on that. Now, if Cole is gonna want, depending on what the, has to be done to the electronic files, because if, for example, if we go to an A2 survey and update it, there's costs,
Right.
right? And then if maybe there's other details that,
We have the grant money left.
yeah, I know. But as far as we could contract directly with Cole, or we could go through QA&M because,
Whatever you discuss with Tom.
yeah, Tom didn't seem to want to be a coordinator
If I were
because,
him,
Yeah, you wanted it out.
Yeah.
you
Well,
wanted-
I've
he just
already-
said, whatever you, I'll give you whatever
I
you
already
want.
alerted Steve that you may be
Yeah.
calling or maybe
Yeah.
doing something.
COVID killed.
So do you think it's worth getting a quote to do the A2 survey? I'll bring this survey up
Well,
to,
you wanna upgrade it over the past 5 years, because I think all it really needs a new, not a full title search, but just a search of the deeds and stuff.
yeah, it's more like an update because you guys already did the,
And then we gotta do the wetlands delineations of the road.
yeah,
Again, we need permission to do that.
right,
And then if we're gonna do that strip, we need topo and stuff over there.
right,
But you know, Don made a good point last meeting. We could get that stuff done because we may end up doing something else with our
Costly.
Correct.
property. And it's good to have that.
Right.
In the bank.
I agree.
Right. But the key is to make some kind of overture to see if that property is available.
Yeah.
Or if it's not,
I keep hearing it is.
Yeah.
I keep hearing he wants to play, but, okay.
Well, what else are you gonna do with a swamp?
well, I would just say we want to do some studies to check the feasibility.
Yeah.
I got permission.
You know, like the old Florida thing, I think it's prime swampland. So
I think Jim Horrible
The
knows
alligators
him,
come
doesn't
with
he?
it.
Jim knows everybody in that.
Well, it's also wetlands, so he's
Right.
right.
It's, we looked at the map, I think it's more floodplain.
Yeah.
It's just one corner of wetlands. we gotta do.
Yeah.
Back in.
Okay, I'll get the quotes for the borings and then maybe we'll talk about,
Yeah, I don't know, a third guy for test borings.
I don't know, after Welty, there's not Clarence and Company.
well, yeah,
I can dig around,
okay. Dig
There is
around,
another
no pun
guy.
intended.
probe around.
But I guarantee you 2 of them are probably on the state list. They
Yeah.
can pull them off there without bidding.
And
Okay.
I know we need blow counts, so that's one thing we do.
Okay,
But he'll tell you how many feet he can go in a day.
all right.
All right, Tom Salamino, you're up.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Give it to Ron.
No, it's Rocco with the second.
Yeah, I need to have some credit here, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Talk soon.
Hey.
The YMCA project.